Hey y'all, so this is my Coming to America review. Now before I get into it, make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe. Now as y'all know, I have been anticipating this movie ever since I heard there was going to be a sequel. Like the original is a black classic movie. Like it's up there with Friday, Soul Food, Set It Off, Wait and Exhale. I was excited because most of the cast, if not all of them, were coming back. And this movie came out in 1988, just to give y'all a little bit of clarity about its cultural relevance. So before I watched the movie, I was just hoping like, please, I hope they did my classic good. I hope they did it good. Like I've seen this movie way over 50 times. It's the type of movie where if it comes on TV, like any part of the movie, I'm gonna watch it because it's just hilarious and it just has such a rewatchable quality to it. Now, before I get into critiquing this movie, this is my opinion, so don't drag me. And this will have spoilers in it. So if you have not seen the movie, I suggest you go and watch it first. Because, yeah, I'm going to talk about all of it. I also waited to put this review out till Monday because I've just given everyone a good bit of time to watch it. So I watched the movie Saturday on Amazon Prime, and afterwards I was like, well, at least I was entertained. At least I was entertained. It wasn't the best movie. I would say watch it just for nostalgia purposes. That's it. Have your expectations very low. I was entertained. I was not bored. And I did laugh a few times. But just overall, I think this sequel was a little unnecessary. It was a little all over the place. I really wanted this movie to win. I really did. We were all rooting for you. It really had that feel of like a direct to DVD movie, even though everything is on streaming these days because of the panorama going on. But it just didn't feel like a classic to me. This movie was how you would compare Next Friday to the original. Like it was just not necessary. Like it was great seeing all the characters, but other than that, I'm just like, they could have left it alone and now they have this. Like all in all, I probably wouldn't watch it again. Usually for my reviews, I want to watch the movie twice, but I was just like, I'm good. I don't want to watch this again. And I'm just like, damn, my last review was Malcolm and Marie, and that was just, oof. That movie, I would give it like a good solid D+. I think I gave it a C-. I'm not really sure. I don't even want to watch the review again. Like, I swear, y'all, I'm looking for a good movie to review. So my next movie review after this is Mortal Kombat. So hopefully they don't let me down. But let's get back to Coming to America. So first, I'm going to highlight the good things that I loved about the movie. Oh, another thing about this movie was there was cameos on cameos on cameos. Like everybody wanted to be a part of this film. And I'll go into that later about the casting, but it just seemed like, geez, like there's like, is everyone involved? Like they have not only the old characters, but new characters and some more cameos too. And also with John Legend, I just did not care for him singing the original theme song. You know, oh say, can you see I'm coming to America. Now, I love John Legend, but he didn't have to go and add a slave vocal to this track, you know? Like, it just didn't feel right with the movie. I don't know. It could have just been a little bit more updated by a different artist. Now, I will say at the end of the movie, while the credits were rolling, he absolutely nailed She's Your Queen to Be. Like, he nailed that part. I really enjoyed that. I was like, why didn't they make this part of the movie? They could have made him like the son of the man who sung it. I don't know, he did that. Now that was the part where I was happy he did that song justice, but I didn't like how he did the theme song. But anywho, so I'm gonna get into what I loved about the movie, what I hated about it, and my overall score. So one of the things I loved about the movie was like the old characters, you know, and especially the characters that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall played, like the ones in the barbershop. Was it? I'm not sure. I think it was Arsenio Hall, the one with the preacher with darkness in the night, oh, cause the Lord The Lord say this. Like in the beginning of the movie, I love the pace. Like it really started out great in the beginning. Like I love to see Zamunda now in the 2020s. He has a whole family, 3 daughters. They had the little training scene. I loved it. We see Arsenio Hall. We see his wife. Like it was just nice to see. We see the king as well. Like, yeah, like I love seeing the original characters. And then we had McDowell's, like John Amos came back. Louis Anderson came back. And I gotta say, even throughout the movie, I laughed quite a bit. So I was never like bored or just like, oh my God, this is really bad right now. I can't finish watching the rest of this. Like, I laughed and I was entertained and I wanted to see where the movie went. And then it just gave me a little nostalgia feel from the movie that came out over 30 years ago. Now, another good thing about the movie was a couple of actors that really stood out. Like, of course, Eddie Murphy. I mean, he carried the movie. He's like a comedic genius. Like, also Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall had me laughing a lot. And especially his new character, I think that was, like the real old prophecy one. Like, Arsenio Hall is really funny. I'm like, why is he not in more movies? Now, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was really good too. I enjoyed his role. Wesley Snipes is very funny. I mean, of course I know him as Nino Brown, but he has Blade, he has Noxzema from To Wong Fu. Like, Wesley Snipes has the range. And then, surprisingly, Leslie Jones. Like, I really loved her in this movie. Like, she had me cackling. Now, I know she can be this loud comedian that can kind of be one note sometimes, but her character really worked. I really loved it. Y'all, I forgot to even tell y'all the plot of the movie. So let me just give you a quick rundown of the plot. So the story basically opens in Zamunda. Like, you have Hakeem and his family now. We see that his dad, the king, is still alive, but he's kind of on his deathbed. The prophecy person or whatever has a vision that Hakeem has a son in America that he had with Leslie Jones. And they even go back to like the 80s and recreate that scene where they were going through the club and they met Leslie. That was fun to see, but I was just like, okay, they stretching this a lot. They don't even question the kid's paternity. I thought later in the movie it was going to be revealed that he's actually not Hakeem's son, but he actually is. Now, Wesley Snipes' character, he's kind of like an adversary of the kingdom of Zamunda. His sister was the one who was originally supposed to marry Hakeem, and she, she was dancing like, arf, arf. She was barking like a dog or whatever. So I'm glad that she was in this movie too, by the way. So he has a chip on his shoulder about that. And then he even threatens Hakeem's life. So Hakeem wants to make sure he has an heir. And because of the kingdom's rules, he has 3 daughters. He needs to pass on the crown to a son. And that already creates tension between his family. So he goes back to Queens. He's bringing his son and his mom to Zamunda. He's trying to like groom him to be prince. This caused friction between Hakeem's family. We see he's getting the hang of being in the footsteps of being a prince. Oh, and Wesley Snipes' daughter is the one he's supposed to be marrying, which is Tiana Taylor. And someone on Twitter said something really funny. There was like, if Tiana Taylor's in the movie, you can just expect it's gonna be mediocre. And I'm not gonna disagree with them. But anywho, he's supposed to marry her. At first he's like into it because, you know, Tiana Taylor, she's beautiful, she's fine, she's gorgeous, she's sexy. But then he falls in love with the girl that does his hair. Now this love story between the two, like this just went by in breakneck speed. I was just like, wait a minute, like they fell in love already? It was even getting a little bit predictable. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm guessing he's gonna fall in love with her. But I'm just like, they don't really give us the time span, but I'm thinking like 2 weeks went by all together in this movie. So I'm just like, wow, they fell in love in 2 weeks and they're about to get married? So then basically once he's groomed to be prince, he realizes that he's in love with the hairstylist, and he finds out that he was just used as a pawn by his dad and Wesley Snipes' character. So he runs off with the hairstylist back to Queens. And then we have this moment where Hakeem understands where he's coming from because of his own experiences in the classic movie. He goes back to Queens to get him, brings his whole family back up so he can marry the girl. And then he tells his eldest daughter, who really deserved the crown in the first place, that she's gonna become queen, and she just has a half brother at this point. So then we get a scene where every single person in this movie is at this wedding and they're celebrating. And then we get the surprise of Randy Watson at the end of the movie singing We Are Family. That was nice to see, but I was just like, wow, they really had to wrap this up quick. So at the end of the movie, I was just like, oh, well, that was something, you know. I won't watch it again, but I mean, it was something. And now, here's what I did not like about the movie. First was the plot. I mean, it was a little predictable. It was a little paper thin. I enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed the King Joffrey Joffrey's funeral. I enjoyed that. That was entertaining. Around the end of the movie, I was wondering, okay, they got 15 minutes left to wrap this story up. How are they going to do it? I think they wasted the plot on this, you know, my next heir, when the story could have been centered around the eldest daughter, about how Zamunda, you have to be a man in order to be king. Like, I really wish they would have focused on his eldest daughter instead of this prince person. Now, let me get into him. Like, I did not think he was likable at all. I thought he was just an imbecile. He wasn't even a lovable imbecile. Like, what I loved about The Last Coming to America was Hakeem was likable, him and Simi. But this person, I did not like him at all. This guy reminded me of DC Young Fly or Young DC Fly from Wildin' Out. Like, I just basic low-hanging fruit humor from him. Like, I just did not like him at all. I don't even know the actor's name. Y'all, if y'all want to let me know his name, fine. I didn't even feel like looking him up. He was annoying. And speaking of casting was just all over the place. Like, there was just too many over-the-top comedians. Like, you can't have Leslie Jones and Tracy Morgan and Lunel. Like, it was just too much. It was just becoming a little slapstick, you know? I just wanted a classic feel of the movie. And this movie just felt tacked on. It seemed like a money grab. It just seemed like a whole bunch of rich celebrities. Like, just get as many cameos as we can. And as many product placements. I also did a count of the product placements because it was becoming ridiculous. So I saw Fashion Nova, and that was like mentioned twice. Pepsi, Crown Royal, Ciroc, Bulgari, and Chrysler. And that was just a few of the ones that just stood out to me. Now, speaking of casting, Garcelle. Now, Garcelle was promoting this movie like she was one of the lead actresses. And I gotta say, Mama was in the movie for less than 3 minutes with no lines. No lines! Why y'all did that to Garcelle? Garcelle deserved a little bit more screen time and a bigger role. They could have wrote something for her. She is like a respected actress right now. She's done a lot with her career. They could have gave her a speaking role or something. I don't think she said anything in the movie. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not looking at that movie again. Like, y'all let me know, did Garcelle have a speaking role? Because her entire length of being in this movie, I want to say, was under 3 minutes, which is just crazy to me. And honestly, last but not least, when you watch this movie, don't even go in comparing it to the original. Like, at all. Or you will be greatly disappointed. You will probably like hate it even more. But I just took the movie for what it was. I was entertained. I laughed a bit. I got nostalgia from watching the original movie. I appreciated what they tried to do, but it just didn't work for me. And sometimes you just gotta leave the classics alone. Like, please, I don't want to Set It Off remake. I don't want to Wait Until Exhale remake. Like, just leave the classics where they should be. Like, they could have did so much with this sequel, and it just feels like a missed opportunity when I was watching. So overall, I would say I would give this movie, I would give it a C-. And that's fair, because I still laughed, I still enjoyed seeing the characters, but the wonky plot, the casting that was all over the place, the direct-to-DVD feel of it, just like a Redbox exclusive or something like that, the movie just didn't have that timeless feel that the original had, unfortunately. It couldn't even be a movie that would stand on its own. Like, I don't know. I'm really disappointed that, because I really wanted to enjoy it. I really did. I had an open mind, but if you love the movie, let me know why you did below. And don't mention it being nostalgia. Like, did you really like this plot? Because I really think that if they focused it on the princesses and the eldest daughter trying to be queen, like, I think that would have been a dynamic story. And like, maybe she could have fell in love with someone. Like, to focus on this imbecile as being groomed to be king, like, I just thought it was a waste. But yeah, that's my review for the movie. Yeah, leave our black classic movies alone. Leave them alone. But what else can I say? I do recommend that y'all watch the movie though. I mean, support these black actors, but just give it one watch and don't watch it again. Just solely watch it for the nostalgia of it all. That's all I can recommend you to do. I'm not telling you not to watch it, but definitely give it a view and give me your opinion, please. I love comments. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all for the next movie review, which will be Mortal Kombat in April. Something's telling me that I'm gonna have a very similar review, but yeah, I will see y'all soon. Bye.